Final
Oh my God. Listen, I don't know. I think this city may explode right now. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Tony Jigsaw Cutillo here. The final judgment. As always, make sure you're following at Judge Jigsaw. Make sure you're following at Cutillo23. Powered by Heat Ratio Sports. Powered by Win Daily Sports. And most importantly, our flagship sponsor of the show, SEObrand.com. The home where all analytics begin. And you can talk about analytics all you want. I'm just telling you, listen, the best line of the night right here. Again, listen, if you were sleeping under a rock, the Phillies win 7-0. They just completely demoralized the Houston Astros. They bomb away all night long. Fans were nuts. The stadium was banging and rocking. And listen, they even had you were hitting earthquake numbers on a Richter scale at a Penn State campus, for Christ's sake. This is unbelievable. John Smoltz with the line of the night where he says, I don't even know why they have seats in this stadium. Philadelphia, tip your hat. For everybody out there that wants to hate on Philadelphia, for everybody that wants to give us no disrespect, for everybody that wants to kill this fan base and bring up stuff that happened years ago with the stupid Santa Claus bullshit and everything else, you know what? You all got egg on your face because this is the best fan base in America. There is no more America's team than the Dallas Cowboys. This is America's town, which is Philadelphia, man. I'm sorry. It really is. And this is no disrespect to anybody, but I'm telling you, please tell me another fan base that is better right now. I get we have everybody has their damn moments, man. Everybody. But at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. But when we have to shell out, when we have to come out, nobody does it better than Philadelphia. Nobody. Absolutely. Adam checking in and bring the comments. Let's go. Everybody, flood of weather. Good, bad. I don't care. Like I said, this is all about camaraderie. We're all in this together. Houston fans, Philly fans, whatever it is, it's just a great game. This was just a great game for us. It's simple as that. 2 more bombs away. Astros look lost. Rich second and fans were crazy from start to finish, showing the Astro fans how to do it. Listen, we do. We do. Jose checking in. Let's go. Absolutely. My man Thomas checking in. Houston, man. Again, I love it. You got to be feeling good, my man. Great game for y'all. Astros should bounce back tomorrow night, and we should have a great game, 6 or 7. This team has got to get it going. He's saying, yeah. Listen, I completely agree. I do. I don't know if they'll win. Okay, because I'm starting to feel that feeling again. I'm starting to feel that special feeling when you feel like something is going on. There, when you just can't stop it, things just can't stop. Okay, they just can't stop. The Astros 100% will bounce back, but I'll tell you what, whether they win or not, we're not sure, but they definitely will bounce back because they're too good not to. I am not the guy who's going to sit here and say the Astros stink and they have no. Listen, this is a 106-win baseball team. This is one of, if not the best team in baseball all year, bar none. Take everything out of it. You can say what you want. Doesn't matter. Best team in baseball, 100%. And right now, we just gave them a gut punch. So let's see what happens. It works both ways. Rich says, show the nation what the fan base is all about. Absolutely. Javon checking in. 2 more to go. Harper, right there. Harper set the tone from the jump, and they follow. That's what people do. That's what MVPs do. That's exactly what he did. And listen, I'm going to tell you, man, he may be the first player that I can recall in World Series history to be walked on purpose when there's runners in scoring position. I know we bring up about Barry Bonds, and everybody wants to lay salt on Barry Bonds. Whatever. I don't really care. Okay, but at the same time, Bryce Harper is almost, unless you're throwing him a high fastball at the ear, you're not going to get him out. Right now, he's locked in. Jose says Phillies played a good, hard game of real baseball. Absolutely. Rich says they're still screaming while the players can talk. It's nuts. It is a straight up party, man. It's a straight up party. Ranger, great point. 5 scoreless. I mean, the dude has, like Rob Thompson said, the heartbeat. He's as cool as Q-Palmer, man. He really is. There's a reason why he's a defensive master on the mound. He's just, nothing rattles this guy. Harry checking in. Fans are engaged from the very first pitch. Harry, they don't sit down. I love it. I mean, you can feel, you don't even have to be at Citizens Bank Park to feel the energy that's going through the bloodstream. You feel it from your TV. Everybody feels it. Everybody knows it. And again, it absolutely probably helped that the game was canceled last night because all that energy, even though it's not the same fans, some of them probably are because they have tickets to the whole series, but they were just waiting. And what was it, like 4,000 days or games or whatever the hell that number was? I mean, it has been unbelievable. Phillies haven't lost a home game. And that's the thing. See, that's the thing that scares me, right? About everybody saying it's only going to go 5 because I'll tell you what, it'll be unprecedented if they do not lose a game at home. I can tell you that. McDalia checking in. What's up? Amazing. Yes, what they did tonight. Go Phillies. Absolutely. Thomas again says, I completely understand. I can see y'all sweeping at home as well. Lance was tipping. Yes, that's a great point. I saw that. He was tipping usually his delivery is much lower. His arm was coming out way earlier. That's what Bryce Harper was telling Alex Bohm. That's what the clubhouse was talking about. He 100% was tipping those pitches, and that's on his own fault. But again, and the thing is, like, nobody saw that. Like, the pitching coach doesn't see that. Nobody in the Astros sees that and can help this guy out because he was just getting obliterated. Adam says Harper is best at figuring out pitchers. He's a student of the game. We say this all the time. He's a student of the game. There's something, you can practice all you want, right? You can practice. And I used to say this all the time. Like, I coached softball for years. My daughter now is 23, so obviously she doesn't play anymore. Actually 22, going to be 23. But, we used to talk about that as coaches. You could have, the best training in the world, but if that girl, that softball player doesn't have a softball IQ, they're only going to go but so far. And Bryce Harper has baseball IQ. He gets it. He knows, right? You just know, man. You just know. It's crazy. Rich says, I agree with this. Smoltz says he's underpaid for the contract he has. I'm going to be honest with you, man. John Smoltz, I know a lot of people are hating on John Smoltz, but I'll tell you what, I will listen to John Smoltz call a game any day of the week. I said this before, I'll say it again. Listen, I get it. We don't want to hear about, them propping up the Astros. I get it. I understand. But at the same time, he gives you an education. This is one of the best pitchers of all of baseball to ever play as a starter and a reliever on a team that won multiple pennants, okay? Got to the World Series over and over again. This guy knows what he's talking about, and he gives you an education on every at-bat. He makes me learn, man. I'm going to be honest, he makes me learn, and I love listening to him. Javon says Harper's reminding folks that this postseason, he's one of the best in the game. I'll tell you, man, I'm going to say it again. All those people that did not want Bryce Harper, all those people that said this contract would be a detriment to the Phillies for the long term, all those people that said, man, they're going to eat the time that they eat their words and they said this was a good contract. All those people that said this guy's a cancer for the clubhouse. You didn't read the story. See, that's the problem. You fed in to that media monster that we have, and you just read all the bad parts about Bryce Harper, and you didn't read any of the good old boy stories about Bryce Harper, that he actually is a normal guy, that he actually comes from a blue-collar household, that he actually wanted to lay roots in a town that he could call his own and raise a family, and he picked you, Philadelphia. He picked you because that's what he wanted. Yeah, I get it. It was money. It's always money, but take that out because these dudes are going to get paid no matter what. It doesn't really matter. But what it is he had the opportunity, he did, to go other places. He had the opportunity to sign back with Washington. No, he wanted to come here. He wanted to come here. And this is one of the very few and first athletes I can remember that actually laid claim to what he said. Okay, not many athletes, they all say the right thing, right? We talk about coach speak all the time. Athletes say the right thing, but that doesn't mean that they actually mean it. This dude goes out and he actually does exactly what he says. He believes it, which makes all of us a believer, which is, I'm telling you, it's very rare. It's very rare. Rich says said Phillies were on McCullers' pitches because of his leg kick. The leg kick. Yeah, you know what? I did see a video floating around about that as well. So, and that's the thing, Rich. It's you would think that guys in the clubhouse would see that, right? You always see them on the iPads. You see them on the screens, and they walk back, in the training room. They could see it on the screen as well. You would think that somebody would see that. My man Joe checking in. No respect at all when Gibson and Nelson towed around. Nelson had to make it interesting, right? At least Gibby came in and mowed him down, but Nelson just had to make it interesting. Like, I am not a Nick Nelson fan. Never been a Nick Nelson fan. Okay. Him and Brad Hand can both Uber their way straight to Houston and watch it on a big screen because I don't need to see either of those cats in the game unless it's way out of hand, which obviously tonight was. Harry says, I really think this team loves each other. It is infectious. It really is, Harry. I was saying the same thing. I think Smoltz alluded to that too, as well. Because again, I tell stories a lot because it's what I know, and again, how I can relate and be transparent. And I just talked about softball I coach, but I also coach soccer, and they're 15 and 16-year-old kids, and they've been together, most of them, since they've been about 8, 9 years old. And I say to people all the time that, yeah, you're going to have your one-off issues here or there. I get it. Nobody's perfect, right? We don't live in a perfect world. If it was freaking perfect, it would be goddamn boring, okay? But at the end of the day, I look at that team, the team that I coach, these kids, I said, these kids really like each other. They like being around each other. They like practicing with each other. They like playing with each other. I can't coach that. Right? You can give that culture, but those kids have to want to buy in. And I'll tell you what, the culture has been given, and these players bought in. And again, this is a huge stamp on the Dave Dombrowski era. Okay? It is. Okay? Because you have to remember, a lot of these guys, okay, homegrown. So obviously what they're learning in the minor league system, that culture is coming up. You saw it with Derek Hall. right? When Derek Hall came up, he was just one of those guys, right? He was a believer. He bought in, but it's what they were preaching at the lower levels that when they do come up, they fit right in. You see it all the time. And again, Dombrowski brought in these guys like a Schwarber, who he knew, and Schwarber is the leader in that clubhouse. It's not Bryce Harper, it's Kyle Schwarber. Okay, by what I mean by leader is the guy that's got everybody together, everybody on the same page. That's Kyle Schwarber. Again, brought in by Dave Dombrowski because Dombro knew what kind of player he was. Castellanos, listen, Castellanos, you may not like the guy. He may frustrate the hell out of you, but he gets Philadelphia. He gets it. Okay, you saw it, right? That kid almost caught the home run ball. He dropped it. What did Castellanos do the following inning? He runs out there and makes sure that kid gets a baseball. He gets Philadelphia. Okay, he gets it. And Dombro brought in guys that he knew could play in this environment. How much? I hate to bring him up, right? I hate to bring him up, and I won't say his name, but Daryl Morey, okay, mentioned when we talked about that specific person, okay, he said it amazes him how some people just can't play in Philadelphia. Some people aren't made for Philadelphia. And I think that's the most important part that we're learning. This team is made for Philadelphia, and that's why it's working. That's why it's working. My man Al taking 2 more wins. Absolutely. Thomas says, I can't be pissed at Lance. He only gave up 5 hits. They all managed to be bombs. Still love my Astros, win or lose, and my respect for the Phillies has skyrocketed. Thomas, I 100% agree. You know, I think it might have been Smoltz who mentioned it. You know, after those bombs, he settled down and he started mowing down the lineup. And he was allowing Dusty Baker to continue to save the bullpen, which is huge. So, again, when his pitches were working, the way he could cut in on that breaking ball and that slider, he was unhittable at times to some of those batters, right? I completely agree. And that's just, gives confidence to the team. So, yeah, you're right. Listen, I 100% agree with what you said. 100%. Adam says, the announcers were sad tonight with the Phillies crushing them. I don't know, man. Listen, Rich says, I like Smoltz. He tells you what the pitcher is thinking and what he will throw. That Curver Harper won't miss it. And that's that's the thing, man. And Al checking in too. I love John Smoltz. He teaches, yes. And Al, you know that. That's why we love that. Listen, that's why we love the announcers in Philadelphia, right? That's why we love Olive, right? Because again, he teaches us the game. He's talking about because he was a player, right? He was inside. And that's what you get. Like A-Rod sounded like a knucklehead. He really did. He just didn't sound like the guy. Smoltzy is giving you a Hall of Fame commentary, in my opinion. I know we don't like it sometimes because he gives you the other side, but please understand that you can learn a lot if you listen to this broadcast. I'm telling you. My man Joe checking in. Awesome game. Total suck. Can't wait for tomorrow. 100%, man. It is a straight up party in Philadelphia, man. It's straight up party, man. It is straight up party. Rich says he's a team player, talking about Bright loves the fan base here. When he played against the Phillies, here's one of the reasons why he wanted to put his roots here. He already said it, right? He knew where he wanted to go. This team really plays for each other. You could tell they genuinely like each other. They do. They really, really, really like each other. Another nice catch by Nick. Absolutely. I mean, talk about here's the thing. We talk about Bryce, leading our team. The spark plug, like I talked about before, is Altuve, okay, for the Houston Astros. And what does Altuve do? Altuve comes in, jumps on a first pitch because, remember, if you listen to the final judgment, if you listen to what we talk about, we specifically talked about, when you face a Ranger Suarez, he is a hittable pitcher. He pitches to contact. He's not going to strike out 9 to 10 guys. So you have to play good defense. And that's why Altuve was up there hacking. And that's why Pena came up there hacking, right? 2 pitches, 2 outs. But I'll tell you, again, can we please get a goddamn Nick Castellanos moment? Okay, I know everybody hated when I came out last week and talked about Castellanos, okay, but can we get a Nick moment? Because, again, can we please understand that this guy did not come here to play full-time right field? He is not a full-time right fielder. Like, he is only playing because Bryce Harper can't throw a goddamn baseball. Okay, so please give some goddamn respect to Nick Castellanos going out there laying out, making play after play at a position he's not even fully comfortable playing. I mean, come on, you see it. He's not always 100% crisp. He's awkward out there because he's not a right fielder. He was going to be a DH and he was going to play in platoon just like they did with Reese Hoskins a couple years ago. Okay, Nick Castellanos is one of the major underlining reasons why this team has been so goddamn successful. Again, a Dave Dombrowski guy. Rich says Nick made a big play at first. Yep, absolutely. We're echoing the same thing. Shorty checking in, closing up at work, but had to stop by and say, let's go, Marsh. So Shorty hit me up right away about that Brandon Marsh home run on Twitter. And again, almost, man, I almost, like you guys know, as always, I do tons of props when we talk about sports betting and fancy work. WinDailySports.com. Make sure you go check them out. They're one of them power of this show. And I almost had it. I took Kyle Schwarber at plus 400. I took Castellanos at plus 750. And I was really close to taking Brandon Marsh at plus 1200. But I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And I'm kicking myself in the ass for not doing it, and we would have had a really good night. But all in all, it was great to see Marsh do what he did. Javon checking in. Castellanos plays that swagger. Yes, that the city loves. He has that chip on his shoulder, man. He has the Philly chip, and that's another thing you can't teach. You either have it or you don't, and Nick has it. And again, listen, Dave Dombrowski's been around baseball forever, right? He had to be talked out of retirement from Middleton in order to do this. And the funny thing is, who else had to be talked out of retirement to do what he did? And that was Pat Gillick by Ruben Amaro Jr., right? When you think about it, man, does this have so many similarities to 2008 just by the moves that Gillick made, by the underlining moves, guys like Rule 5 guys like a Jason Worth, bringing in guys like a Scott Air, JC Romero, these one-off guys, Pedro Feliz, Joe Blanton. I mean, you talk about these guys that he brought in, and here you go with Dombro doing the same thing. Dombro knows the pulse of the city. Dombro understands what this city needs and what they will accept, okay? And he knew right off the bat that Nick Castellanos, not because he had him before, but because he knew what kind of player that the city of Philadelphia needed and again, we talked about Syndergaard possibly feeding off the energy of the crowd. Well, that's what these guys are doing. They're feeding off the energy of the crowd. And listen, Dombrowski knew. He knew, and that's why he brought him here. My man Calder checking in. That kid's glove was way too big for him. Yo, it's funny. I was thinking the same thing, man. Like, if he would have had a smaller glove, like a little league glove, I think he had a Stad's glove, man. I really do. My man Thomas says, my father's from Philadelphia, so it's hard to root against us, but you got to go with the home team. I still see this as Astros in 7, but after tonight, I can see this Phillies in 6 for sure. I see that's what I love about it, because, again, it is only game 3. Okay, I get it. Like, it is. And Thomas makes a great point. Like, I said it again. I know you guys don't want to hear this, but again, the Houston Astros were the best team in baseball for a reason. You just don't all of a sudden lay an egg and not be able to bounce back with the bats that they have in that lineup. You can't. Listen, you got to, like Bryce said, you got to get 27 outs. You got to keep getting 27 outs. Come back and just continue to push on the pedal, and that's what they're going to have to do tomorrow night. It's going to be interesting. Okay, it is. I'm curious to see how Nola comes out. I really want to see, man. I do. Joe checking it says, too many fans want broadcasters to fluff their team. I like national games to get fair commentary, not homerism. And I completely agree with that. And that's why I love Schmaltz. And again, I've told, like, it's funny, like, my wife gets all crazy, right? My kids will get all crazy, and they'll be like, oh, well, why are they talking about the Astros? I'm like, relax. They have to talk about both teams. This is what's great about listening to a national broadcast. And again, I love the one thing about Merrill Reese for the Philadelphia Eagles is he can be unbiased. And that's why we love him, right? That's why we love him. But not everybody in Philadelphia can be unbiased. Not everybody in every city can be unbiased. I love the national commentary. And again, if you told me I can get a Hall of Famer in there that's actually played the game, is a baseball guy, and it can give me the education like a guy like Smolty can give, I'm in all day. Sign me up, man. Sign me up. Yet he still gets taken out for defensive purposes. Now he's talking about Casty. Yeah, I hear you. How about my man Grizzly Marsh? Yeah, Grizzly. Noah Howard, you're talking about that. I'm curious to see what Marsh would look like without that beard, man. I'm very very curious. Schwarber killed. Listen, he was laying on that. Like I was watching that at bat. And that's the thing. You start to learn as you watch these games. And that's why I always say, you have to watch everything, the mannerisms, right? And you're watching Kyle Schwarber when he misses things and he shakes his head and he knows, right? He's laying on a specific pitch and he knew that pitch was coming and he absolutely obliterated again. Great point, Jovan. Great point. Jovan says, Christian Javier is no joke. No one needs to be on his game tomorrow. Every inning is a small game within itself. 100%. Javier, Javon, from K props, from DFS, Javon and me go back and forth all the time. And we have played Christian Javier a few times because of his K potential, right? He goes 4 pitches deep. He is nasty. 1.35 ERA in the postseason. He's no joke. So the bats have to be disciplined and they 100% have to come alive again. They just have to. And Nola, yes, Nola cannot be the San Diego Nola. Nola cannot be the Houston Nola. Nola needs to be the Atlanta Nola, okay? Nola needs to be much better. Or not even the Atlanta Nola. Nola needs to be the St. Louis Nola, okay? The Nola that doesn't give up 5 runs, okay? How about that? That's the friggin' Nola that needs to be. Aaron needs to be the Nola that we said, all the people that were doubting him in September, that he shut all of them up. That's the Nola that we need. My man Jay, Sports Skill Radio, checking in. Any concern about Zach Wheeler? Giving him as much rest as possible. I'm very, very, very deeply concerned about Zach Wheeler. I'm going to tell you that right now. When you always hear the term dead arm, and I hate that term because I think it's so ridiculous, but it's so true. And I'll tell you a funny story. Like, I remember just getting into the baseball scene. And again, I like to be fully transparent, you guys. So I'm just getting into the baseball scene. And remember Phil Hughes pitched for the New York Yankees and then pitched for the Minnesota Twins. But I remember using Phil Hughes on one of my teams for fantasy baseball when I was just getting into it. I was 100% football. This is before I opened up and went 4 for 4. And I remember reading a report, and I was working shift work at the time. It was probably like 2 a.m. And I'm sitting with a bunch of my buddies, my shift work boys. And I was like, dude, how does a pitcher get dead arm? Like, what the hell is dead arm? Does that mean like his arm doesn't work anymore? Like, I had no idea what the hell dead arm meant. And then I come to find out, it has to talk about velocity, has to talk about strength. When pitchers lock a lot of innings on their arm, they get this thing called dead arm, which is obviously it has to do with stamina being down and velocity obviously following. And I feel like, remember, Zach Wheeler was hurt for the last month of the year. Came back, pitched electric. And then we talked about him dialing up that velocity, going from a 96 to like a 99. And I'm afraid that they may have backfired. Now, one thing I can tell you is Zach Wheeler definitely can be a crafty pitcher. We've seen people, especially, listen, you want to talk about John Smoltz. How about talk about the great Greg Maddux, who learned as he became a better pitcher with less velocity by painting the corners of the plate. So I think that is definitely 100% going to be an option for Zach Wheeler. So luckily, thankfully, Zach Wheeler is that educated when it comes to being able to realize and understand that he may not have it. And now we could talk about less of a concern, but I'm still very concerned about the velocity. 100%. I really am. I'm very concerned. Rich says tomorrow night's game is critical. They have to come out and mash again. Listen, tomorrow night's game is do or die, in the sense that we're either going to win tomorrow or we're going to go to 7 games. It's simple as that. I'm going to tell you that right now. Tomorrow is the deciding game, okay? Because if you let Houston back in and this goes 2-2, okay, I'm telling you, it's a problem. It's a problem because now you have to travel again, and you're talking about a team that we're starting to pull a lot of punches. I'm going to tell you something right now. Rob Thompson is managing to win this series in 5. I'm telling you that right now. He's going to pull every punch he can to win this series at 5, which means if they don't win it in 5 and it does go 6 or 7, then what that means is he's going to be out of some ammo and he's really going to have to be creative. So he's going all in, and I don't disagree with it. I love it. I love the approach. Every button he hit has been turning up gold. Not to, or I should say, just credit my man Mark Zumoff by turning garbage into gold. But everything that Rob Thompson has done, he 100% has turned garbage into gold. Rich says the unbiased broadcaster, national commentary, especially Smoltz, he's amazing talking about the pitch and the hitting. 100%. I love it. 100%. Eric says if the Phillies win tomorrow, there's going to be a large crowd outside the entire city at Delaware Valley Thursday night. Paint the town red, ring the bell. It is going to be Red October in Philadelphia, man. It really is. If they win tomorrow night, this city just might as well shut down. Okay, because you have so much. I mean, just think about it. If they win tomorrow night, that means you have a clinching World Series clinching game on Thursday night. And I'll tell you what, I'm 100% all fly Eagles fly, 100%. But I can tell you what, not many people are gonna be watching that Eagles game. Okay, and if they are, they're gonna be watching on their phone. But their main objective is gonna be watching a World Series championship win in Game 5, if it definitely comes down to that. I mean, listen, it's gonna be Philly right here. It's gonna be Philly at compliments of Kolb Designs. Kolb Designs doing big things, man. If you don't know what Kolb Designs is, I'll tell you. Last night, you see the art history back. 2 100%. Actually, 3, because you got Monkey's Uncle in Doylestown, who represent all Philly products. You got Art History 101 representing straight out of Mayfair on Frankfurt Avenue. Just, 100% Philly, just repping Philly, doing tremendous things in the community and making sure that we have all the gear that we need. And Kolb Designs, right out of Bridesburg, in the heart of Northeast Philly, right there, right in the Berg, just consistently coming out with great stuff and keeping things reasonable and keeping the quality 100% crisp. So that's where this is from. All my family wears Kolb Designs, 100%. Rich says Schwarber never gets cheated on his swings. He does it. Sometimes it's one legs, man. Sometimes it's one leg. Yeah, I bet Marsh. Shorty says, I bet Marsh has no chin. I know so many guys that have a weak chin, so they use the Captain Caveman to hide it. I bet he shaves already all season, so nobody will recognize him. I have no idea. I'm learning something every time that we do these streams. What the hell is a weak chin? I need to know, Shorty. Listen, you need to come correct a little bit. You need to hook this up and tell me what a weak chin is. I need to know. What the hell is a weak chin? We need answers, Shorty, please. We need answers on what a weak chin is. Javon says, I think Wheeler's fatigue is coming from him pitching a career high 213 innings last year plus this season. If you can get him through the 6th inning, you'll take it. I completely agree. That 200 inning, it's kind of like the 300 attempts for a running back, right? We talk about that in football, 300 touches, and we always get scared about the following year, right? I remember that doing that with Derrick Henry the year before last, right? In 2020, 300 plus touches. What is he going to be like at 221? Is he going to lose a step just because from fatigue? And I think the same thing happens with pitchers. Career high 213, because let's not forget that when we signed him from New York, the reason why we got him a little, even though the money, everybody was saying they wouldn't pay him, it still was a little less than what he could have got maybe somewhere else. It's because of his history of injury, because of his history of not being able to finish seasons. So this is the 1 year where he actually did so. This is the first time, Javon's right, that his arm is getting taxed like this. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And I get it. Listen, I'm with you, Javon. If we can get him in 6 innings, just give me even the way this bullpen's been pitching. If I get him 5, and can I say something about the bullpen? And again, I don't like to toot my own horn here, okay? But I do. Yeah, I guess I do. Jigsaw always likes to talk about Jigsaw, but no, I'm just kidding. But at the end of the day, hey, I'm transparent. When I suck, I tell you I suck. But I didn't tonight. 2 for 4 in prop bets, by the way. Win Daily Sports, shout out, boom, boom. But what I will say is, remember when I came on this show and I talked about one of the most important things I felt in that loss in game two was the confidence that Connor Brogdon was able to get. Remember, Connor Brogdon was supposed to be a big part of this bullpen coming into the season, and he got hurt. And then when he came back, it never really formulated into success. And Rob Thompson, what he's been able to do with two guys specifically, and that's Zach Eflin and Connor Brogdon, is being able to put them into specific spots in order to build their confidence for situations like this. And I said it with Zach Eflin when everybody's like, why is Zach Eflin on the mound to clinch the wild card? What is he going to Eflin for? It's about to build confidence, right? And look what Eflin's been able to do from that confidence. Connor Brogdon, who looked like he was not going to be a part of this postseason roster in the sense of being successful, okay, he got a huge confidence builder in game two, even though it was in a losing effort, to go right up to Jordan Alvarez and strike him out and pitch in a very, very quality few innings. It gave him confidence. And what happens tonight? He comes out and he shells out. He shells out again. And again, that's only going to help you in games 4 and 5, which, again, Rob Thompson, man, this guy is just hitting all the right buttons. Rich says Maddox was an artist. I'll tell you what, man. You know, one thing I love, and I know we're talking post game, okay? But if you follow, make sure you're following again. Make sure you're following the Following Judgment here with Tony Jigsaw Cutillo. If you're watching on Facebook, I've said this before. If you're a new viewer on Facebook, if all you need to do is go to YouTube, go into search, click in The Final Judgment. You could just put The Final Judgment, or you can put Final Judgment with Tony. It'll be, I have an SEO where one of the top 4 comes up, will be one of these episodes. All you need to go is click on that page, hit subscribe, hit the like button. It means the world to me and everybody that's joining this stream, because we are one community here and we continue to roll. And it shows it's getting in front of the eyes we want to get in front of. Okay, so if you could do that, it would be greatly appreciated. And the reason why I talk about that is because on Mondays and Thursdays, you see right there, Mondays and Thursdays, 10 p.m. Sometimes it's Friday mornings or Tuesday mornings because of Monday Night Football. But for the most part, we're pretty damn consistent. And we talk about off topics. And one of the topics that obviously we're going to talk about now, not tonight, but for the future episode, which probably won't be Thursday, because Thursday we'll be on a post game. It'll probably be the following week, will be pitchers that lost velocity but learned how to paint the black. And the black part meaning the black parts of home plate. Okay. And I know sometimes you can't see them, but it's like the lines, okay, of the box you see on the virtual screen. And one of those guys was Greg Max. Another guy was Pedro Martinez, right? When Pedro Martinez lost his stamina and his velocity by like 5 miles an hour, he became a different pitcher. Tom Glavine was a different pitcher. Oral Hershiser was a different pitcher. These are the guys that you get from baseball pastime that understood how to paint to black. And that's something that Greg Max was a master of. Rich says Astros are coming out swinging, being aggressive. So Nola, yes, Nola's velocity has to be there and his movement has to be there. He cannot make mistakes against this lineup tomorrow night. He can't. He has to be consistent. We are 2 minutes away from saying tonight's game. We are 2 minutes again. So we're going to go to at least midnight here because we have to be able to say tonight's game, right? We have to say tonight's game. Eric says, if it goes past 5, Rob will need to tell his team, boys, let's get back to fundamentals and play ball. Yeah, listen, I'm telling you, I would not be surprised. Okay, talking about getting back to fundamentals, I would not be surprised to see in game 4 to get the win some bunts in this game. The sacrifices to move runners over, because I think they understand and they realize how important this next game is going to be. Rich says, picture in picture, Kolb Designs is amazing and a hard history. We all love them both 100%, man. Picture in picture he's talking about for the Eagles and the Phillies, which absolutely that 100% works. But yeah, Kolb Designs, I told you before, guys, I love supporting small business. Small business is where it's at. And Kolb Designs and a hard history 101, listen, it's infectious, right? Because you hear the story. It shows you the blue collar Philly mentality. It is 2 entrepreneurs doing great and fantastic things. And don't forget about Monkey's Uncle in Doylestown. Again, this is a mom and pop place. I mean, giving live updates. She's giving live updates. If you're not following her page, go follow her Facebook page. I don't get paid for that. It's just honestly, it's a mutual respect thing because I love what they do. You go, she gives you an update every single night on what the inventory is, when they're going to open up. My man Jay from Our History 101 gives you an update every single day. Just, fully transparent about what's going on, showing you how they've been working nonstop. So go support those brands, man. You will not be disappointed by the quality and the prices. Jay says about Wheeler's velocity, maybe he can learn from Syndergaard, a former fireballer. Another way Dombrowski's crafty moves paying dividends. 100%, Jay. I said that before. I'll say it again. I mean, GM of the year, Dombrowski. A lot of people were curious. They were skeptics, okay? But I knew that Dombro's a baseball guy. Whenever you have a baseball guy, they are 100% successful. I'm telling you, they really are. And either way, man, anybody that they could have brought in to get rid of that stiff Matt Klentak would have been great in my book. Adam says it drives me crazy waiting all day for the game. And we are 12:01 right now. So we can now say tonight's game. Okay. So we can now say tonight's game. So what, in about 18 hours, 19 hours, we'll be looking at first pitch, right? We're going to be looking at first pitch. We're looking at Aaron Nola throw first pitch in a pivotal game for Wheeler healthy is 100% a must. Bullpen has been the most consistent, unbelievable part of World Series. It really has. And again, the pitchers we knew always had it. They had the stuff. But again, it was them being able to utilize their strengths and being able to have confidence. And a lot of that confidence, like I said, it comes from the pitching coach, obviously, but it comes from Rob Thompson by making sure that you get into the right situation. Harry says, nice third person. Harry, help me out, man. I'm not sure what that means. You probably know what it means. I just don't know what that means. Let me know what you're talking about. Rich says nothing is off limits on this show. No, man, nothing's off limits, man. We talk about it all. Like I said, I'm trying to do shit differently, man. I'm trying to do stuff differently. I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. I'm sitting here right now in the confines of my own house that I built a studio to be able to do what I love. Okay. And again, I'm blessed. That's all I can say. I'm blessed. So I appreciate everybody 100%. If I'm Nola, Javon says I would pitch backwards against the Astros if they're going to be aggressive at the plate. Yes. Right. Don't go first ball, fastball at a time. And that's the one thing Nola can do. And again, I'm sure him and JT are going to talk. I'm sure they're going to figure it out. And again, I have a hard time believing that Aaron Nola at home in front of this crowd is not going to come out and be successful. I really do. I have a hard time believing it. I will have to tell Karen oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Harry, I'm telling you, man, 100%. And they have all different styles, and that's what's nice about it. Like, I've gotten Kelly Green Eagles gear. Our History 101, they just have tremendous authentic designs. They do their own designing, which, I mean, you see the hats in the background, the one with the Liberty Bell, you see the graffiti on the left right there. And again, those two hats right there just shows you the kind of artwork that they do. And Kolb Designs is just, they're amazing. I mean, listen, I get all my North Catholic. I am a former Northern, right? I am a North Catholic alum, so I get all North Catholic, gear there. I know my man Joe Allegra was checking in earlier. He's a Ryan alum. I'm sure he gets his Ryan gear there. Anybody, they had the Roman Catholic gear. They had the Frankfurt Pioneer gear. They got everything there, man. Not just Philly sports scenes. They have everything, which is great. Great neighborhood store. My man Oliver checking in. What's up? Oliver checking in for the first time. Last time is back. I like to see the faces back here. Says, I feel good about Nola for tomorrow. When he pitched game one, he looked super nervous and sweaty. I bet the home field advantage will help him a ton this time around. I agree, right? It's infectious. We say that word. It's infectious. It's very, very infectious, especially when you're there for a crowd that just does not sit down. I love it. When you called yourself Jigsaw, Harry, yeah, it's funny, man. It's funny. Like the Jigsaw name has been this kind of, it was bestowed upon me from the great Sean Brace of Fox Sports The Gambler, formerly 97.5. He's doing great things at The Gambler. I got no love lost there, man. Always going to be my boy. He said he's the one who started. I'm telling you, he called me Jigsaw, and I was like, "What the hell is Jigsaw?" And he was like, "Dude," he's like, "You just piss so many people off sometimes." He's like, I've never met somebody that gets people so fired up, but at the same time is so energetic and doesn't stop. He's like, you literally, I gotta call you Jigsaw. I was like, okay, and it just kind of stuck, and it was like, okay, I kind of dig it. Like, I kind of ride it. You know what I mean? Like, my soccer boys, my team calls me Jigsaw. Right? I mean, it's just who I am, man. I love it. Like, everybody, it's funny. Like, people laugh at it and think, but I think it's cool, man. Like I said, you gotta have fun doing this, man. Like, I'm not trying to get clicks, and I'm not trying to be like, I'm trying to be me. Like, again, my man Joe, if he's still listening, I met Joe. Me and Joe would go back and forth on here. Met Joe at a Sixers game. I mean, up at the concourse, talk for about 10, 15 minutes. And I'm sure Joe will tell you the same guy you see here on a microphone is the same guy you would meet in the concourse, man. It's just who I am. I don't know how to be any goddamn different. Okay. Because I always said that before. Like, if you could just be yourself 100% of the time, you never have anything to worry about. You never have to, walk into a crowd and be like, oh man, maybe I should act like this, or maybe I shouldn't act like that, right? So that's the funny thing. Like, you never have to worry about that. That's the funny part. JT and Nola will have a game plan. I can't see Nola pitching bad again this time around. Now, listen, this to me, Rich, and everybody else, this is every bit of a solid. Listen, I do not expect the Houston Astros to be shut out tomorrow or tonight. I do not expect the Houston Astros to just lay down. They are going to be aggressive, just like Javon said. Thomas said it as well. It's his team, and I fully agree. Listen, I mean, Bregman, you saw the gritty at bat from Bregman tonight. That's what they bring, right? You see it. Hensley comes in as a rookie, shot right off the middle, very aggressive. Even though Altuve didn't do much tonight, he still was hitting the ball. Jordan Alvarez is not going to stay silent for long, right? So you're going to not only have to expect, at least a 2 to 3 to 4 run performance for the Astros, but you're going to have to just make sure it's kind of in spots and it doesn't get any more than that, and that your bats continue to be disciplined and continue to hit mistakes, because that's what's happening right now. You're hitting the mistakes on the pitches from Houston. It's simple as that. You're hitting mistakes, and that's when you know you're locked in. That's when you know you're locked in. And again, let's give another round of applause before, this show ends later, to Kevin Long for doing unbelievable things with this team as a hitting coach. I will be shocked. Okay. I will be shocked. Listen, pay Kevin Long whatever he wants. The sad part is, the reality is, he will probably be a head coach somewhere next year. Okay. Because if the Phillies do win this World Series, okay, you know how it happens, right? The bench coaches, the game day coaches, the hitting coaches, they're the ones who get penciled in for the next opportunities in other places, right? And everything he's done has been evident. Now, what I will say is, quite possibly, right, maybe he doesn't want to be a manager, but that's where the money's at, right? So you have to at least take the shot, right? You have to at least take the shot. So he's going to get an opportunity. He's definitely going to get an opportunity. I would just hope that the Phillies at least try to do whatever they can to keep him here. But obviously, they're not going to tell him not to go anywhere and make it to where he shouldn't get that opportunity. But if they do pay him handsomely, I am a huge supporter of that. So, Mr. Middleton, if you're listening, Kevin Long needs to be a priority. I know we already got Rob Thompson locked in for the next couple years. Okay, but I think my man Kevin Long needs to be a priority. And the one thing I see about Kevin Long is he's bought in with the players, right? He's the first guy at the top of the steps in the clubhouse. He was the first guy getting thrown out a couple times this year. He's the guy, Thompson is the low-key guy, and Kevin Long 100% is the energetic guy. You need that guy, right? Pitching coach is quiet. Caden's quiet. Topper's quiet. But Kevin Long is the energetic guy that you need on that bench, right? You need that. Like, kind of like Davey Lopes was kind of that guy, right? Larry Bella kind of was that guy. You weren't getting that from Jimmy Williams with Charlie Manuel, right? And you weren't getting that from Charlie Manuel. You needed that enforcer, and that enforcer is Kevin Long, right? That enforcer is Kevin Long. So, yes, Rich says, open up the checkbook, Mr. Middleton. Use that cigar money to good use, and make sure you open up the checkbook for my man Kevin Long, man. My man Kevin Long definitely got to get the respect. Hold on, I got to get on my phone. I took a couple screenshots of a couple things here that we were talking about. And again, let's see. It was pretty good tweets out there, to be honest with you. Yeah, Anthony Sanfilippo, he's the one on Twitter that mentioned about Nick Castellanos flipping up the ball, who missed the March home run. It says good karma abound for this team, 100%. How about Rob Motti? Rob Motti tweet now. Rob Motti, great follow, great longtime Philly sports, AP Sports, Florida. I mean, great guy all the way around, always doing good things. Faith on the field, that's his thing as well. Great show. Rob Motti says he posts the picture of, I don't know if you guys saw it, but of the pregame where it's Mike Schmidt, Dr. J, Bernie Perron, and Brandon Graham threw 4 strikes to Jason Worth, Shane Victorino, Ryan Howard, and Cole Hamels. And how about Chase Utley? Okay, Chase Utley wearing the same damn outfit tonight at the park that he was wearing the day of the parade. World effing champions, right? I mean, come on. World effing champions. It's just everything's coming full circle. I love every minute of it. I really do. And I hope that everyone is enjoying this, because again, we are all blessed to be able to witness what is going on, what we know is going to be. Okay, you can start to feel it. And tomorrow night, if Nola comes out and he's solid, and he can limit the bats of the Houston Astros, what I can say, it's going to be dancing on our own all night long in the city of brotherly love. But listen, again, as always, make sure you're giving us a follow here. The Final Judgment. Again, we could go all night, but you know what, man? Let's save some of this energy for tomorrow night. Again, make sure you're locked here, right here on the Final Judgment. Make sure you're following at Judge Jigsaw on Twitter, on Instagram. Always different things coming up. I dropped a couple videos today talking about Tyrese Maxey. Dropped a video. I forget what the other one was talking about. Again, but just little things here and there that kind of get into my mind, right? That get into my mind, talking about Tyrese Maxey as the number one priority for scoring it for the Philadelphia 76ers. Not just Philly, though. A lot of different stuff as well. There's been a great shout out Kayla Santiago. She was on the program about 2 weeks ago. Tremendous up and coming talent in sports media. Had a chance to talk to her for about 20 minutes. Check that interview out. She said some tremendous things. And again, she's covering the World Series right now for the Delmarva Sports Network. I was so proud. Shout out to her. I know that's what she's always wanted to do. Local girl in the city of Philadelphia, out there doing Philly things on a national spectrum, man. It's just great. So as always, man, make sure you're giving us a follow. Make sure you're also following the 2 networks that are powering the show, which is Heat Ratio Sports, where you can get all of your local and national sports coverage, a host of personalities doing great things. Flyer and Ice. If you like Flyers, the Flyer and Ice podcast is the way to go. Powered by Heat Ratio Sports, dropping stuff. Nick Tosti, Dan Green doing tremendous things. Fourth and Go Radio, Mark Tomasini, Dave Gleckner, every single week doing big things. You obviously catch the Final Judgment on there. Catch the Fantasy Firebox on there with me and Pittsburgh John Coker. And then, as always, parlay it over to Win Daily Sports. If you're a sports betting enthusiast, if you're a fantasy football fan, you want to make sure you're following Win Daily Sports. Listen, tremendous personalities led by my man Jason started a tremendous company out there that I'm happy to be a part of. And all we do is win. It's win. It's what honestly, big or small, it doesn't matter, but we win and it's fun and we have fun doing it. We're not telling you spend thousands of dollars or anything like that. Listen, it's a reason why we have a membership that's $5.99. Okay, $5.99. Where do you get that kind of information? I'm telling you right now, nowhere. So if you do go and you want to sign up, it's free if you put the code word green, GREEN, and you will get 1 week free of all our tools over there to help you learn how to be a sports bettor the right way. It's a fantastic site, tons of great content, especially for fantasy. Rich says they just showed all that stuff at the ball, so it's great. It's a thing of beauty, man. It is a thing of beauty to have all those legends in one house. I'm telling you, I'm starting to feel it. Thomas, with all due respect, I'm starting to feel it. I am starting to feel it. And again, don't forget, big business, small business, SEObrand.com, the guys that help you funnel the traffic to and from your site and make you understand where it's coming from. They continue to do big things, 15 plus years in the biz. All they do is help make your site run. Go check them out, SEObrand.com. Hold on, my man, Roddy. Listen, Roddy checking in. I am telling you, Roddy, you are absolutely crazy. Okay, you're absolutely crazy. Tell me you couldn't find my channel. You're subscribed, but listen, Roddy, you got to be nuts. I subscribed to your channel and I watched a couple videos, and my man is riding a Harley, okay, with a GoPro, talking as he's riding. Man, my man is nuts. You got to check him out. Like listen, I won't even go on a motorcycle myself, because I'm afraid of riding anything on two wheels that isn't pedal motivated or pedal moved, I should say. Okay, so riding's out there. Not only is he one-upping me, but he's got it on a GoPro, man, 100%. Rod, you had to start. Listen, if you subscribe and you hit the like button, you'll be notified. You hit the notification bell, you'll be notified every time that we're live. So on YouTube, there is a notification button. All you need to do is hit that notification bell. So every time that we live, we'll pop up. So you'll know, if we have a pop-up breaking news, like we did some breaking news stuff, when we talk about Philadelphia nationally. I was going to do a breaking news today on the trade deadline. Just didn't get around to it. That stuff will be coming, but whenever there's something big, we will definitely do. He says, I didn't get a notification the bell was on. That's, is that Doc Rivers again? Doc Rivers, it's after midnight, and hopefully Doc's not messing with YouTube now. Hopefully he didn't move from porn to YouTube, because Doc likes that late night stuff. So I better watch myself. I might get sued for that. But no, I'm just kidding. All in all, man, it's all in good fun. But I appreciate everybody checking in. But we went 57 minutes, almost an hour. My mouth is dry. I'm gonna go relax a little bit. I'm gonna start cutting up some clips for tomorrow. One Rick says, no porn for Doc. It's 1 a.m. Oh, we gotta go, because this show is gonna run right off the heels. As always, man, Tony Jigsaw Cutillo, for this great community we're creating here, right here on the Final Judgment. It happens sometimes, but now I know the name is Final Judgment. That's the thing. Yeah, it's Judge with an E. Final Judgment, Judge with an E. And I did that specifically because Judge Jigsaw has to be a judge on everything. But now, as always, appreciate everybody checking in. We'll be back here tomorrow night live after last pitch. We'll be back here Thursday night live after last pitch. And if it goes 6 to 7, we'll be there right there on Saturday and Sunday after last pitch. Ryan says, hey, the Phillies are the bomb. Absolutely, man. The Phillies are bombs away for sure. Jose, all right, Tony, have a good night. Hey, Jose, you may see me on Monday, my man. Just, spoiler alert, you may see me on Monday. But as always, man, everybody have a fantastic night. And like I say, always, 100%. Okay, some people have takes, some people have thoughts, but on this show, you get the Final Judgment.